I'm from South Carolina. I moved out here, and they had me thinking Orange County was just the Holy Grail. Oh, you go to Orange County, they got that money in Orange County. I'm from LA, so Brian gonna have to take a detour real quick, put me on game about the ride, and then we'll get back on track. Don't lose your train of thought.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to the LA Rams, but
whoa. Let's talk about this. Hold on. Sometimes you just gotta go with how you feel.
I am old enough to remember a time where it was weird to be on the internet.
My name is Trey Hatton.
This is Rob Palacio.
This is gonna be a beautiful thing for sure.
Another day under the sun, and I'm glad my name is not Diddy.
Are we going there? Early like that?
Why not?
Wow. Okay. I am also glad that my name is not Puff Daddy or what's his actual name? Sean? Is his actual name Sean?
Sean Diddy, Sean Daddy, Sean, John, well, no. Sean.
So here's my thing. You know, man. There's so many
pop now.
Stop.
Oh, okay.
Stop
I'm sorry.
I saw for all, I like to always throw this crazy stuff in there. I don't know why I love it. I saw that it said that Cassie, she's coming out and saying all this stuff. But I read something on Instagram that said, a lot of people feel that Cassie isn't truly traumatized by everything. She more so wants some publicity and to be heard from everything. I'm just telling you what I read, how people spin stuff. I'm not picking a side either way, but it was a crazy take when I read that. What do you think about that? Because it said that she knew all this was going on. She was okay with all of this stuff, but now she's trying to come to the forefront with all this. But also, she was getting manipulated. So I see both sides of it. He was a master manipulator. So it's
yeah.
What do you say about that? I don't know. I like to see the good in people. Yeah. I hope that, she's not doing it for the wrong reasons for sure. But that was just wild.
I think I'm like,
be careful.
I'm like, why did I bring this up in the first place? It was a joke.
I'm ready.
I think first and foremost, a lot of people got a lot of different opinions and none of us was there.
They do.
But this is, as a father, one of the craziest things, right? Us as men, right? As young men, you start talking to girls and then your mama, your daddy, whoever you got in your life tells you or shows you, or by example, you see, this is how to, get it in, right? This is how you talk to women. This is how you get things going. And sometimes that's a good representation. Sometimes it's not a great representation. And us as men too, I tell my daughter, young men are stupid. We just are. We don't know what the hell we want. We don't know what the hell we doing. We just trying to learn.
Yep.
You got to be careful, right? We know there's a version of Trevay that was not ready to get married. That dude was not going to be good to nobody long term, right?
100%.
And I was that person also, to some degree. Again, nothing like Diddy. I ain't trying to say all that, but, you never, as a dad to a girl, you never want your daughter hurt, and you never want to hear your son is doing something that would
outlandish,
that would be harmful to his own name or the family name, or, hurtful to anyone. You don't want those things. So there's a lot of things to unpack there, but Me specifically as a girl dad, I'm like, man, where is this girl's dad? Like, why did she feel she needed to attach herself to someone so strongly?
Ooh.
You know, like,
there you go.
Whatever, like people do whatever they do in their bedroom.
There you go.
Whatever. But like, you know, some of the stuff that I hear, bro, I'm like, where is, like, that's not freaky. That's like a confidence issue.
Yeah.
And then you saying you never really wanted to do that, or you didn't want to do it as much or whatever. And then it became very clear that, you know, first it was about you making it into the music industry. Then it was pretty clear he wasn't going to do that for you, but he wanted you around for fun. And you were signed up for it because there was money involved. There was a lifestyle in it. Then there was fun to be had. But you see it, you're not getting the respect you need as a person.
You hitting on something now.
And when you see that, you still signed up. Even after he done hit you, he done did whatever. You know, he cheating on Kim, who's now dead. He doing whatever. Like, you could just tell, like, this is a shifty dude, right? Never mind whatever illegal things that were happening.
Oh yeah, you know, everything that's coming out. You know,
right.
you haven't even got there yet.
Right. And you still stay signed up for, like, what they say, almost 11 years.
And so that's what.
Right. And you're like, I love this guy. I love this guy and whatever. And like they're showing records of, like, there's times she's texting him and he don't even answer for days. And then she goes, I'm horny. And then he answers back.
Like, that's crazy.
Like, that's so crazy. And you don't get that.
From that point, I think manipulation. I think she was manipulated to a point. Not manipulated. Let me change that. I think she just felt she had been in it so long that it was going to be hard to just up and walk away. You know, I was always told,
what's the price? What's the price, though? What's the price of keeping your soul intact or not bending your morals to the point where, like, because you end up not happy anyway, right?
Well, how about this? You don't know you done with something until you done with something, right? You don't. Your brain always need time to catch up to what's going on around you. So she's there, she's doing her thing, she's hurt, all right. But you know, if she's able to get to a point where she can say, "It can always be worse." Look at my life. Look at what he's been able to provide. I mean, I'm not saying that he gave her this luxury life, but if she's able to talk herself off the ledge each and every time, that's how you get stuck in that cycle.
Well, here's what I'm scared of. Here's what I'm scared of, because I know everyone's different with their dating style, and I don't know what you're even going to say about this, but I'm the type that in more than one occasion, I stayed too long. You know what I mean?
I guess I never really thought about that.
I knew the relationship was over and I was still trying to make it work. And each time it got uglier, but I was trying to save the relationship. Not just, and like more than one relationship, more than two relationships. This has happened to me about, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. I stayed too long.
Oh, golly.
Yeah.
I would say I'm the same, but I will also say, I don't know how you are. I'm a much more emotional dude than most dudes. So not only do I stay too long, but my emotions at the forefront. So I'm like, you know, to my wife, she'll say I'm not super emotional. But to me, for the people I know how I grew up, I'm a more emotional guy. And so, you know, I get impacted by things that go on. And yeah, I'm the type of dude that like Cassie, I would try to talk myself like, oh, nah, it ain't that bad. You know, you got to fight for this. I was always like a fight. I was like, we can do this.
Right.
You know, it ain't over.
So I can understand from a certain perspective where she goes, maybe I can fix this or whatever. Right. But there comes a time, and it's so weird with me. Like, the more I break myself down, you know, there are times where, like, there are people in my history that'd be like, yo, he's a total dick. Like, the second he was done, he just was like, this is over. You know, and I cut it off quick. And then but those full relationships that I had and didn't survive, I was looking to fix those. And I knew that was an uphill. I knew that was an uphill battle each time. And I still stayed too long. And I was like, okay, I need to be done with this. But let me hold on a little bit. Nah, maybe I can change this or whatever. You know what I mean? So I could see to some degree why she would do that, but there's just certain things that I heard. I'm like, there's no way in hell that you
She can
didn't
do
go.
that.
Yeah, like where is your self-worth? Where is your self-worth?
Yeah.
And I get it, girl. Like getting battered by somebody who got money is probably tough as hell. And I'm not going to speak on that because I'm not a woman. I don't have to bow down to no man. You know, I don't have to fear no man physically. You know, I'm a good size, good weight. You know, I have the temperament for it. So, you know, like it take a hell of a man to scare me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand those sorts of pressures. So I want to be careful how I couch this as a person who has a mom, a person who has a sister, a person who has a daughter, and a person who you know, has a fiance. So I want to be careful that I show respect to women when I say what I'm saying. You know, it's a bit, you know, it's a bit, complicated. And when I hear those things, my brain just goes 1,000 different ways about how that could have played out. But like what I keep asking myself is, where's her? I mean, I don't know her dynamic. Like, where's her dad? Where's her brother? Where's her uncles? Where's somebody that she could rely on and say, please just save me from this or whatever. And I know it's Diddy and he got guns and he got, you know, shooters and whatever, but like, damn it. Like, I feel like you don't have to be stuck that long.
And I'm be honest with you, bro, like, and this is, you know, we not even talking about the struggle that she had. To me, I don't think we're talking about necessarily the struggle she had with all the, you know, all the stuff he asked her to do. I'm just really concerned about why it took her so long to walk away. that's my main issue right now. That's what I'm having a hard time juggling. But you know what? I'm sorry, we got right into it, and that's like a 40-minute into the podcast type of conversation.
Hey, this podcast go where it go. That's the motto.
Hey, how are you? How are you doing?
You know what? I already told you. I done woke up and I'm not Diddy, so I'm doing well.
Oh my God! Here we go. All right, I am absolutely peed off.
Why?
Life is not good. I had an amazing week last week, and then this week it's like the world's on top of me. My Angels went from being 8 games in a row to we now lost 4 in a row. My New York Knicks are probably going to be in Cancun soon. Having a
what happened to? I'm just glad we made it this far.
You know what, man? It ain't enough. You heard what
now
Kendra
it's not
said.
enough.
It's not enough. You heard what Kendra said, and I don't know. I'm good. My kids are healthy-ish. My son's home today from school. He had a virus. So I guess I got an extra hand around the house, but also another mouth to feed. So
he a grown ass man. He can make his own sandwich.
Can he? He can. Can he?
Man, how old is he? 5, 6? What is he? 6? He's 6. He can make his own. Come on, man. Come on.
Man, I still cut that man crust off. He got a long way to go. I could have.
You better cut that out.
Yeah, I cut the crust off. I cut the sandwich in half. Yeah, dog.
He right in that middle ground. He could do some things, but yes, at 6, I ain't trusting Nate either.
He can get cereal. I do trust him. You trust him to pour the milk? I trust him to pour the milk. I do trust him to pour his own orange juice. I don't trust him to do make PB&J and you know stuff like that.
I would have did that the other way.
Give him a little. Yeah, I got you.
I would trust him to PB&J. It's a little harder to mess up, but like the pouring of I don't know. I guess maybe because I had that issue, and every kid I've ever seen has had that issue of pouring the right amount. You know what I mean? Like I just don't trust no 6-year-old pouring nothing. Like you ain't pouring no juice. You ain't pouring nothing.
I know he going. I know he over pour, and that just might be the youth in me. Like I know it's a possibility of being a mess, but I still want him to learn the mechanics, right? What does different size what does different amounts of fluid feel like in this carton? Okay, so when it's all the way full, it's heavy. Okay, so I need to be slow and pour it nice and easy. Okay, when it's half full, I can kind of get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got a little bit more leeway. I kind of want him to feel that. And we just been doing it for a while, right? The first time we poured orange juice, right? I think he didn't get none in the cup. I think it was all over the counter. I was like, bruh, what you got going on? But now you see him and he's he set his cup down. He got the orange juice with two hands. Cause we don't get the gallon jugs. We get like the square cartons. Cause I know it's easier for him. And he's pouring, he poured like a little bit at a time, like splash, splash, splash. And then like he'll set it down. So it's been the evolution. But other than that, man, for the most part, I'm good. Into May, got a trip coming up next week. We going, it's my in-laws anniversary. I told you we going up the coast. I think that's is that next week? No, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now. It's 2 weeks from now. Hopefully I can lose some more weight before we go, but we'll see. I'm just like, when they say that you have ups and downs on your weight loss journey, they are so right.
It'll happen.
They are so like, when they say you have your ups and downs, but I guess everything's good. Trying to think, my wife summer is almost done with school. She's taking her last summer class, which is huge, man, huge. She already got a job. And when we was recording,
that one time with that little interview,
she got it.
Congrats to her.
Is big time. Everything is everything right now. I need to get there and cut my grass, but other than that, I had a real pressing matter I wanted to bring to you, and I cannot think about it right now.
It better not be about no dang Knicks. I ain't got nothing for you.
Nah, it ain't even sports related. It was golly. I hate when I can't. So you know how I woke up yesterday morning and I thought about it all day, and then I woke up this morning and it was like Vanish. How I want to present the question, Vanish.
Okay.
No, I don't. I can't think about it right now. I don't know. I had it all day yesterday, and now I don't got it. But you know what, though? On a happy note, tonight, me and the wife are going to see Lilo and Stitch, the live action with my son. And I love the movies, bro.
I don't even care about, and my kids ain't that young no more. So like, they don't care. I really don't care. So.
Yeah, but what about the child inside of you, though?
The child inside of me too old to watch Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, he is. Not. I was damn near an adult when that movie came out, I think. When that movie.
Yeah, but what did you watch? What cartoons did you watch? It really sparked the flame.
Inspector Gadget, Heathcliff.
There you go. I watched Inspector
Transformers.
Gadget too,
the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Okay.
Popeye.
Right.
Bobby's World. X-Men. Bobby's World. Yeah, you have to look that up, man.
I ain't never heard that one. I gotta Google that real quick. Bobby's World.
Eat the Cat. What else? I think that was all the big ones. Tom and Jerry, of course.
Bobby's World?
It's like Howie Mandel.
Oh, there you go. Bobby's World.
Howie Mandel.
Wow. This came out
in the early 90s, I want to say. Oh, Batman animated series. Darkwing Duck.
Oh, you did have some. This came out in 1990. Yeah. I don't know, what year were you born, bro? If you want to be asking. Oh, so you was 8 when this joint started popping.
Yep.
Oh, that's fire. Wow, do you really, you know how people be like, oh yeah, I'm a 90s baby.
I grew up in the 90s. I literally grew up in the 90s.
That's what I'm saying. Like when people, it's funny because I was born in the 90s. I'm like, oh yeah, I always joke, yeah, I'm a 90s baby. But you got to be born, in order to say you were a part of that year, that time frame, you have to be born 10 years before.
Or just about.
Because you don't even know what's going on until you're 10.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
I watched the death of the 70s because I was born in 82, right? So by the time I had any wherewithal, so by the time I'm like 4 or 5, that's what, 85, 86. I'm watching people that was like having their heyday in the 70s struggling to let that go. You know what I'm saying? Like people still had the couches with the plastic on it. You know what I mean?
Shut up. I ain't never seen it.
Like my aunt was, rest in peace. I love my aunt, but like she literally had that couch forever. Like you sit on it and just crunkle up because it's like, you know, there's that line, that plastic line that she never took off.
That just sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm. Like people was holding on to them 70s strong, man. I'm telling you.
I might need to put some plastic on my couch. So look, tell me about that though. I just want to know because now I'm just curious. What do you remember culturally as from the age of 10, right? What do you remember the older crowd being like? Did people wear froze?
I mean,
still?
okay, so this is going to trip you out. Around the time I was 10, we talking, if I'm thinking about it right, MC Hammer's in his heyday, right? Vanilla Ice is in his heyday.
Shut up.
In Living Colors on TV.
Living Color.
Let me see. Michael Jackson is like, can't be touched at this time. You know what I mean? Like, Madonna is still doing her thing kind of as an older artist. Let me see. 92. 2 Live Crew, bro, was all over like the pop. Yeah. There was all kind of crazy negative influences at that young age. No, but
you went to Freaknik?
Huh?
You went to Freaknik up in Atlanta?
No,
you went?
Cause
you never been?
I'm from LA, so you know.
Okay, I didn't know if you flew out. People from LA was flying to Atlanta to go to
man. If you met my parents, you have my parents. You know, I ain't flying nowhere.
Yeah,
they ain't going nowhere near on that.
Well, I didn't know because I'm just saying you was working at Coca-Cola.
Dude, by the time I was of age, I don't even think that was cracking like that no more. Because you got to remember, like all that was happening.
You was 18.
So by the time I started hearing about stuff like that, I was in high school. So maybe I could have caught the tail end of whatever that was. But like by the time I was 21 and drinking and whatever.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have caught it because that was in the 80s.
You know.
But go ahead. I still want to hear that crazy thing.
I mean, the early 90s was a crazy time, man. I thought that was one of the best times to be watching sports, to be honest. That's when like Magic and reality still were kind of close. You know, like they kind of would tell these storylines about how great these athletes were. And you'd be like, wow, like Michael Jordan can fly and Magic Johnson is truly a magician and they work hard. And it wasn't so much of this, let's get behind the scenes and talk about their whole life outside of basketball that don't really matter, you know? And you would your imagination would run away with it, you know? And like, this is where you get the Wheaties boxes and the Nike, let's do it. I think I just sent you something recently with the guy.
You be sending me all type of stuff. He was just saying how everything was whack. It was Buddy from the 85 South show. That's what it looked like to me. And he was just saying McDonald's used to have the double cheeseburgers, $2.70, $2.60. And Frosty, and that's true. I haven't seen a Frosty Flake commercial, Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercial.
I'm telling you, bro, like it was, and they were selling us a dream. And I'm not saying that that's right and we should do that all over again. But there was something about that. Like I could see Tony the Tiger,
America's happy,
and a Frosted Flakes commercial. And if it was the year of the Olympics, then he got Olympic garbs on or whatever, or like some skates and whatever. He's skating around and he's like, hey, they're great. And you're like, Mama, I want some Frosted Flakes. You know, it's not like that no more.
Can I tell you something real though? When you send me that, I'm about to spin it on you. You think that it's just the world changing? I think he was factual in his statement when he said that people were happy, but there's still a group of people in America right now who have not been super influenced by social media and all the red dye and everything going on. And they still see America as fun and happy And
yeah,
I'm
I mean,
just saying,
it's a matter of perspective for sure. It's a matter of perspective for sure. But what he's speaking to is us that got caught up in the hype that was getting lied to. We like, yo, it wasn't that bad, but it was, but it wasn't.
It was a little, it was, if you were let me put it like this. I'm gonna just say it wasn't that bad. And the only reason I'm gonna say it wasn't that bad is because everybody was enjoying it. That's the only reason.
I'm gonna be honest to you. I think certain things changed that magnified how bad things already were. For instance, I was eating my Frosted Flakes, right? But I would eat that bowl of Frosted Flakes full of sugar and a bunch of stuff I shouldn't be having. And then Lil Ra was outside burning all that off. Right? I wasn't in the house gaming on the internet. So while that wasn't healthy for me, we probably should have never did that because that's, you know, whatever it is, how far ever you want to go with that. You know, I feel like, I feel like there could have been a middle ground somewhere. You know, if we treated like those cereals like we do ice cream and they told us the truth, you know. But like a lot of that stuff, like we just didn't know. We didn't know what carbs were. We didn't know what, you know, these different things that we do know now. You know, we didn't know that back then.
Oh yeah, the health.
I mean, my mom was
crazy.
Man, like Kool-Aid was always in the house. And how much sugar do you put in your Kool-Aid until it tastes good? That's it.
Yep. And what's the best
the red one? Flavor? The red one.
You fruit punch?
Cherry.
Fruit
punch pretty good.
Okay, that's valid. I'm a big grape. I mess with that grape and I mess with that what's the other one? Tropical punch.
Yeah. The only one I didn't like was grape.
You didn't like grape? That grape.
I don't like grape nothing. Whew.
I'm from the country,
I know.
So
that's the difference.
Like that grape with some catfish or something, some fried catfish, go crazy. The catfish sound. Yes, sir. Ooh, that's bad right there. But I will say, to bring it back, so what you're saying is social media basically killed all the fun in America. You're saying technology killed the fun. I'm just saying, because we could eat a double cheeseburger, but then we'd all go outside, hop on the bikes, we'd be on the scooter, we run around.
We out there all day, right? Like that wasn't, you know, that wasn't like it's not like a fable, right? Like you literally are outside all day. And then your parents call you in. Like I would go outside as early as 9, 10 in the morning. And I'd be one of the first ones outside. And then, you know, right after, you know, sometimes I didn't even eat breakfast. My mama call me in for lunch or something. Or sometimes she bring it out or she bring out a bowl with fruit so everybody can snack on that's outside, you know, and you just keep playing, whatever. You might go inside for like an hour or two. You come back out, you know, and then she call you in for dinner, maybe. You know, and then you just out there until the street lights come on. Like that was how it was. So I'm literally outside all day and I would play the Nintendo maybe on an early Saturday morning. I didn't even play video games at night.
Man, there's so many factors into what happened overall. Like, because parents are just weary of their kids being outside alone.
Dude,
now.
like, but you got to remember, well, you wouldn't remember, but like around that time when I was like young, you know, still of the age of trick or treating and stuff, that's when people start putting razor blades and needles and stuff in candy apples and, you know, stuff like that.
Why was that?
I don't even know. I don't even know. Kids was getting kidnapped. You know what I mean? But like there were these, at least growing up in LA, there was these little rules. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, women and children were off limits. You know, the only weird thing about that would happen, as I think back about it now, is parks were dangerous because where were the gangbangers hanging out at? The local parks. Like almost every hood got a park, right? So you there just hanging out, playing basketball, playing in the sandbox, whatever you doing. And then
meanwhile, they about to have a shootout.
You know, and they hanging out like in the grass somewhere, hanging out. And the rival gang show up, pop, 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 you know, and you right there, you know,
and you just enjoying
your day, whatever. So like in that way, that was like weird and wild and whatever. And we actually stopped going to parks for a long time, or I would just go. And when I was old enough to go by myself, I would go early in the morning and do my workouts when nobody up. I'm like, gangsters don't wake up that early.
Yeah. If gangsters ain't getting up at 3 p.m. Ain't no gangster.
So I would go get my workout in and leave. So, but when I was a little kid, like we just kind of stopped going to parks and I just kind of hung around, on my street because that's where my friends were. So, you just was always active. I don't know. Like it just felt like that's the best way for me to explain it. There was this magic, and it wasn't, and I use the word magic because it wasn't real. It wasn't real. It was all a lie. It's like Disneyland. The stuff on TV was good. And like, you're like, oh my God, Now I watch TV and I'm like, you selling me something. I know you selling it to me right now. Like, I'm not even entertained because I know you selling it to me.
It's fraudulent. Yeah. That's why I have a problem with solicitors. For me, if I want your product, I gotta go find it. That's how I feel. I hate to be that way. I feel door-to-door salesmanship is over with, but they still try to push it, whatever. Hearing you talk though about the parks and stuff, man, it's making me appreciate how I grew up so much more, man, because in the country, it's like 15 years behind the rest of the world. Like it's 15 years behind LA. It's like 15 years behind New York. So if you're saying your childhood was my childhood, and I'm like way younger,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, LA was so weird, man.
We rode bikes. Every day. We went to the park, and wasn't no gangbangers in the country for real. Like it wasn't like no. He might have been somebody with some beef with somebody or something. It might have been this dude say he this or whatever. It's some. I grew up around. What's the word I'm looking for? Very minimal violence. There's violence everywhere, right? But mine was to a minimal degree. But man, just thinking back to my childhood, dude, we were at parks, we rode bikes. I ran through. You grew up in LA, so you grew up very in the city. I'm talking rural. I'm running through woods. I'm in the trees. So I just got a different perspective of. I'll be like one thing that ain't never been able to leave me is, when somebody knock on my door, I just say, come in. And my wife is like, what you doing? I'm like, that's what you say. Like, somebody knock on your door, you tell them to come in.
You don't need no door unlock.
She like, you don't go to that door.
Unlock. You don't do it. You just don't do it.
I know what I'm saying. That's how I know I'm working on it. I'm trying to reprogram, but like the other day it was solicited at our door. And I was like, come in. And my wife was like, what you got going on, bro? Like, you can't just tell people to come in our house. Like, and last night her mama came by and I was like, come in. And she walked in. So then I looked at my wife and I'm like, that's why I do that. But she like, you don't understand though.
Yeah.
You don't know who on the other side of that door. And you just tell them to come up in here. And so like, I don't know, man. I was in the country.
But you're not the only one. You're not the only one. Like my ex-wife was like that because she grew up in South Orange County, right? And one of the craziest things that ever happened is her and I was out all day. And I remember the first time we were going to her mom's house, right? And then she just walked up to the door and pushed the door open. You know what I'm saying? Because like that was one of the stops or whatever. So I was like, wait, they just leave their door open? Or unlock or whatever. And she was like, yeah, like, why not? Why wouldn't you? And I was like, what? Whew.
We did not grow up. And
like she was telling me like sometimes they don't even lock it at night. You know what I mean? I was like, what? Like, I got to secure my door. I still, to this day, I secure my door, man. Like,
yeah, I do now. Yeah. I'm like up there. Yeah. I'm like 2 locks, 3 locks, look out the window, make sure there ain't nobody trying to come in the house. Yeah. I do that now. But no, back at, it took me a minute. Man, my pops used to leave his car door unlocked. I grew up where we could just, everything were open. You ain't got to worry about nobody coming up in your mess.
I mean, I wish, but I've found out the rest of the world don't work that way. I mean, and just kind of take you through it because I don't think you're doing the math on that. There's no way you would. So Also in the early 90s, there was the Rodney King beating. There was the LA riots in 1992, and I was smack dab in the middle of that. And then there was a 1994 Northridge earthquake. I would have been 12 at that time, and then there was the whole OJ thing, right?
So
by that time I was in junior high. So there was a lot of like big current events happening all through my preteen, young childhood life, so.
Yeah, you lived through a lot.
Yeah. The riots is probably the biggest, bro. Like actually, that's kind of how I started podcasting during COVID. COVID felt so close to what I endured during, the riots,
as far as seeing
being like, having to just stay locked into your home. It's not safe to go outside for different reasons. And then in the middle of that, the George Floyd thing happened, and so, I remember feeling in that same space, and it really drove me. Like, it's so funny because years removed and you think that stuff doesn't bother you at all, right? Like it's not a problem for you. And I'm sitting in the house, not safe to go outside because we're not getting the information about this virus. And then when I do go outside, because us and the neighbors decided neither one of us are going anywhere, we could still let our kids play together, right? So we did that, and my neighbor's sweetest lady ever. She one day walked outside and she was crying, and she walked up to my door because the kids had just came outside, so she just came to knock on my door. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what she need. And she was crying. She said, can I hug you right now? And I said, okay, what's going on with you? And she's crying and she's holding her infant in her hand. And so I just want you to know I love you and appreciate you, and whatever else she said. And I'm like, the hell's going on? And I realized she was referencing the BLM stuff and the thing with George Floyd and all that. And there was such a discussion about that. And I was like, girl, we good. Like, we ain't got to talk about that. Like, I'm not on that kind of time.
Yeah. You don't got, I'm not holding you.
You're not accountable for nothing, whatever. Like, this is not, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand. And those things got sullied so much. We could go on and on about all that. Like, BLM in name was supposed to mean one thing. And then what they ended up doing with that ended up being like not something that was beneficial, and that was kind of hard to swallow because it seems like everything that's supposed to move the culture or humanity forward ends up being corrupted by money and whatever else. So I never get on board with these things when they happen because it's happened so many times.
Yeah, they don't use the platform.
They don't use it correctly. They don't talk about the real issues. They're the same people who right now is walking around talking about free Diddy. You know what I mean? Like just cause he black, free Diddy. And I'm like, I ain't with that. Yeah. I'm never going to sign up for that.
I ain't never said that. I ain't never said that.
So,
I ain't never said that. Him and R. Kelly out of there.
I mean, yeah, like, the cop shouldn't have stepped on George Floyd's throat, but like, he probably did need to get arrested from everything I know. You know what I mean? So it's not
under the influence of fentanyl, wasn't he?
I mean, wasn't he like a career criminal anyway? Like, he didn't deserve to die right there. That was wrong. The cop should have had something happen to him.
Not deserve to die.
Like let's keep the facts and not like introduce race into it. Besides that cop was wrong for what he did. If we all keep it a buck, then more things happen. And I've seen that dance from both sides so many times.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. It just both sides, and there's more than two sides. Actually.
Yeah.
There's more than two sides, and you know that, but your side, his side, and the truth. And people, get into a point emotionally. You bring emotions into it, and that's why I love what you said. You said facts. When you bring emotion into any situation or scenario, everything is going to be skewed, right? Everything is going to be thrown off, right? The whole BLM thing, man, going back to what you said, I've seen so many people make profit off of it, running, that mantra. BLM, man, come support us, and not really fully supporting the movement, but supporting their pockets. And so to me, just be a good human. Just spin it back. Just be a
That's
good
all
human.
it takes. And that's my message. Human. That's the reason why I'm not signing up for any of it. I'm not like when people say, I'm black, I should be pro-black. I'm not. I'm pro-people. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. I love a ton of people. We're not all the same race. We don't come from the same anywhere. In fact, I just recently hung out with some friends that are truly awesome that come from the other side of the planet, and I got to hear their story. And like I was actually celebrating that I wouldn't know them if it wasn't for how I met them. I wouldn't even have ever spoken to them. So it's like I feel like I've widened my net of the kinds of people I would talk to. So if I get to widen my net and talk to people of a culture, of a race, of a place in the world that I never would have talked to, and can call those people my friends, I feel like I've done something good.
You won.
That's all I care about.
Oh man, but it's so hard, man. And I didn't even know we was gonna go here, but it's so hard to go out and get those experiences, and then go back and try to share those experiences with the people you've known your whole life.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to make it too deep, but when you go out into the world and you do things and you meet people, I feel like sometimes the narrative of why you're doing it and what you're doing and how you're doing it can sometimes get skewed. Sometimes people can view you in a different light for those things, almost as if you've changed, right? Almost as if you've become someone who they can no longer associate themselves with because you went out and got a different experience. And it's very frustrating. We talked about it a little bit with Amari a few episodes back where he was just saying, going home, even family can be condescending on what you got going on. And man, I felt that. But if you really want to push narrative, and I think the key to this earth is shared experience, right? I'm religious, so I believe we all come from the same. I'm be honest with you. We all human.
It's in everything though, right? Like if you want to go to church, like why do you congregate? Why do you fellowship with people? Why is it like 100 people in the church with you? There's a shared experience that is so important, right? And we do this when we go to parties or like you see it every night you go to work, Trevay. Like, a couple comes in on a date and comes to your bar and they sit down, and next thing you know, they talking to the people to the left and the people to the right. Now that's like 2, 4, 6 people all congregating, having drinks, having a shared experience, and everyone's going home like that was a great night. Right? Shared experiences, meeting people out of your box is important.
I've also been on the other side of it, of the group shared experience where they do talk and they having a good time. And then they come across a subject they don't agree on. So it's either politics or religion or just some type of moral factor and I can slowly see the friendship that they were building kind of diminish off of that thing, which is nothing, right? Which is, to me, is nothing, right? But they went from laughing together and feeling like they knew each other for 30, 40 minutes to saying, oh, you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat. We no longer agree with the same thing. I've seen that. I've seen, oh yeah, I believe in this. You don't believe in God. We can't even speak to each other no more. Even though we just went down a list of like who we are, what we've gone through in this life.
And I get,
we're both military. And I get, we both raising daughters.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, what happened?
I get that there are some non-negotiables and you go like, okay, if that's where you are, then we can't be here. But, and I've had 100%. Some interesting experiences, bro. Like I've actually had a person, where, Jen and I were at dinner one night and and the couple was, I forgot why they ended up talking to us. It's a much older couple. And they got curious about what I was ordering because I ordered a smoked old fashioned, right? And they're like, oh, what's that? I didn't know they serve that here. I was like, oh, it's a smoked old fashioned. And then the guy was like, oh, I think I'll have one too. So he grabs one and, they're talking to us. They go, oh, hey, what are you guys doing? And we're like, oh, we just came from the wineries earlier and we're just having dinner. I want to say this was close to Valentine's Day or something. And, somehow, he was asking about my bracelet and he was like, and then the wife was like, show him your bracelet, honey. And he's like, yeah, this is my favorite bracelet. I wear it everywhere. And then he holds it up and he dangles it in front of me and it's a Trump bracelet or whatever. And I go, oh, okay, that's nice. And I was like, I'm pretty sure you're pretty happy, right? Cause he had just got voted back in the office. And he's like, yeah, he was, and he's still dangling in my face. And he's like, I know some people, when they see this, they get so upset, and whatever. And I go, oh, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't understand that. But, I'm glad you're happy about your bracelet, and I know he was trying to coax me into something.
He was trying to
right. And I'm like, bro, for one, don't assume because I'm black that I'm anti-Trump because I'm not telling you my position on anything. It's none of your business. I don't know you. I'm glad you're a voting American and you voted for the president that you want and you have him. I'm happy for you because I'm not that shallow.
Why can't that just be enough?
I'm not that shallow.
Why can't that just
so
be
I was
enough,
like, enjoy your drink, bro. And so I've had that happen and I go, oh, there are actually people out there that will do this and cause conflict, and
weird.
That's so weird. And then recently, and I won't say the restaurant or where I was because obviously I want to protect the guilty, which it has nothing to do with the establishment. But, Jen and I were out and there was a couple that came next to us. They were on a double, actually it was four people. It was a double date and, they ended up arguing because I guess somebody mutual to them, from what I could hear, had an incident with shaking a baby of some sort or something like that. Now that's horrible. But one person's position was the person did their time, let it go. We don't need to talk about that. The other person's position was, nah, I don't like that person. And if you like that person, then we're like enemies forever or whatever.
And see, that's, I don't know if that's really the answer. I know you're saying non-negotiables, but
what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying, I'm like, okay, so it wasn't your baby that got shook and it wasn't your baby that got shook. And this is just somebody you both mutually know and you're here enjoying beverages. Why are you talking about this? Why is this the topic?
It's weird, bro.
It got weird to me, and I was like, okay. And then they literally they had a fallout right there, and then one set of the couples left, and then they were debriefing, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. They were there about 30 minutes.
I'm just it's crazy. That's crazy to me, and I'm just bringing it full circle, right? A whole scale. Why? It was not directly affecting either of their lives. I get it. One group probably said, anybody, and I get it. People are passionate about stuff. One side of the party said, if you view it this way, I can't associate with you because they are tying your thoughts about that to everything else they think about you. Does that make sense? So they say, if you think that, then I know you're a bad person and you think this, and this.
Are there things?
That's how
No, go ahead.
And that's just how I think that person cancels somebody out. It can't be solely that thing, right? It can't, because you don't agree with everything your mom say.
I think people go looking for those things to disagree about sometimes.
Oh my God. I mean,
are there things between you and your wife that you go, it don't even matter if we agree on that. That's her belief. It don't really affect, she has her own autonomy to some. Okay. Yes. So for instance,
yes.
with me and Jen, do you know, and it dawned on me later, cause it kind of halfway came up, halfway into our relationship. We never talked about the subject of abortion because
that's low key and non-negotiable in my house. But I'm not saying as it pertains to me and my wife.
But see, I'm gonna tell you this though. I'm gonna tell you this, and this is why it might be different if you follow me. The reason why we never discussed what our position was about that specific subject, and I don't need to go into what those beliefs are, but the reason why it never came up was because Jen and I, neither one of us are planning on having any more children.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
It just kind of didn't matter. And we kind of laughed. I go, hey, we never talked about that. And we were like, huh, and why is that? And I'm like, well, we have our children. It's not important to us. And she was like, I don't know if you would agree with how I feel about that. And I was like, well, I don't even know how I feel about that. And I was like, does it matter? And we were like, no. And we just didn't talk about it because we were just it doesn't matter. And she can vote how she votes and I can vote how I vote. And it's perfectly fine. And I know some people need to be united on that. And I'm not saying people need to do that. But like, I think what I'm saying is we found our things that we feel matter to us both being together and found out that there are things that don't matter and we can be separate on that.
All I'm saying is me and my wife are united on that.
That's good.
We united on that. And, my wife is strong-willed, and we united. That's not like I say for all persons intended.
Right.
But that is a very interesting conversation. And that goes back to another thing that should never happen. That's one of those things that shouldn't be talked about because it's been a hot topic over the past 5, 6, 7 years. Because, Roe versus Wade Roe versus Wade got overturned in like a lot of states. Not in California, of course. But it got overturned in a lot of states. And so, this was like during COVID. Like all this happened like right around like the COVID boy. And so that's when me and her had that conversation. Okay. And it lasted for like 2 minutes.
Okay.
It was like, oh, you good? Yeah, I'm good. All right, bet. That was it. Like it wasn't even no like, we didn't even raise our voices. Like it wasn't no like, we signed up, boom, we was in there. And so,
but some of those things cross anyway, just because you both are very faith driven anyway, right? Like, okay, yeah. So that makes sense. That makes sense to me. And like, so even for Jen and I, there's certain things I'm like, that's not even a conversation. Like I already could tell you where she is on that. But I think what I'm saying is, I just think it canceled out because it's just not something that's going to happen in our life at this point. I don't know.
It ain't even nothing to argue crazy. It ain't nothing to disagree about. But okay, what let's go back to why people get upset with each other though. Because you said that some people go out there just to get that disagreement rebuttal, right? To look for that argument. So do you think that is a sickness? Do you think that's an illness of some sort?
I don't know. I think as far as like, I go with this, I always try to protect my energy. You know what I mean? And I go, and like, it's non-consequential to me, or like, it's in terms of like, I meet this stranger. I don't know you from anybody else in here. And it's like, what? Like, you must not be happy. That's the only thing I could draw from that is you must not be happy because you gotta meet me who's trying to be cool with you. And the first thing you got to do is show me that you're pro-Trump. Good for you. I'm pro my daddy, I guess, but like, I ain't telling you about that.
And what I'm saying is like, there's just, to me, well, you know what though? Like you said, I'm faith driven, but yeah, you also got to understand a lot of people in America are politically driven. Like some people, life is politics. Like you got to understand
what they got to do with me and you at a restaurant. I'm eating. First of all, I didn't need to talk to you. You and I could have sat there in peace, side by side. Your woman on your left shoulder and my woman on my right shoulder, and we don't even have to cross paths, right? Like, just, hey, can I sit here? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, you have your meal and your drinks. I have my food and my drinks. I'm talking to my woman right now. We happy to be engaged and happy, healthy, hungry. Leave me alone. Mm-hmm. And, but you took it upon yourself to say, hey, how you doing, sir? Hi, I voted for Trump. Good for you. Maybe I did too. Or maybe I didn't. Or maybe I didn't vote. Or maybe I can't vote because I'm not American. How do you know? How do you know?
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Some people
I am American, by
just
the way.
assume whatever. Ain't no over that. I'm just saying some people just assume. Some people are there to attack and antagonize. Some people just want to see where you're at. And you know, in most cases, they try to do it to see how many are like them. And I ain't even talking about politics anymore. Some people do it to see if there's anybody in the room that thinks the way they think. Does that make sense? I'm just making it in layman's terms, right? The way they carry themselves, whether it be, religion, whether it be your views on abortion, whether it be politics. People ask those questions. People do those things to see how you respond. And I thought your response was golden, actually, what you just said, to just keep them, to make them reset and be even killed. That's.
I mean, to me, he was looking for congratulations. So I'm like, congratulations, you won the Super Bowl. Like, what else do you want from me? Like,
what else
would you like me to buy you a cookie? I don't think they serve cookies here, but like, I don't know, I've crossed this
just
before.
Ain't nothing you want to talk about.
I don't know you yet. I don't mind having a healthy conversation with people I love and respect, because I feel like the relationships that I build, I can have those conversations, and I have had those conversations where me and a friend do not agree politically or whatever, and we've been able to talk those out and go, oh, why do you feel that way? And we can agree to disagree, and it doesn't change our relationship or our friendship or whatever, because I like to understand people. I like to have interesting conversations, which is why we do this podcast, right? And so I don't need you to agree with me. I don't need that. I don't need that kind of validation. Okay. So I don't know you.
So you saying it's a validation
for that person? Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I've been through this a few times, bro. Like the wildest thing that happened to me, and I don't know. Maybe I don't like to call it a racial scenario, but maybe you will after I tell it to you, because I've had other people say that. But I'm gonna let you call it out. Okay, so I'm at Thanksgiving dinner with my ex-wife and her family at the time we were married, right? And one of their neighbors comes over, and they like to, he got to talking like the money people.
Are you in South Orange County?
I'm in South Orange County. So we're sitting down, we're eating, we're talking, we're drinking. The food's good. The house is on the lake. So the backdrop for us is on the lake. Beautiful evening. Everything going well. My kids is running around. The dogs are running around. It's really nice. And you can't beat it. You can't beat it. And Obama had just gotten elected. This is 2009. 9. Because he got elected in 2009. So it's his first year in office, whatever. And they start talking Obama. And right before he was about to, talking politics, and the first thing he said right before he got into what he was going to say, he looks over at me. I happen to be the only black person at the table now. Not that that matters, but that's just what it was. And he says, I'm trying to remember exactly how he phrased it. He said, "No offense to you, but X, Y, and Z about Obama."
Right before they say that, though, right before anybody say no offense to you, they about to say something that's offensive to you.
So I put my fork down, take a drink of some water, and I looked at him and I go, "Why would you ever think that might be offensive to me?" And he goes, whoa. I was like, oh, wait, hold on. You're assuming I voted for Obama. And then he paused. And then everybody paused and looked around, and all eyes was on me. Oh, I just want to know how you guys know who I voted. Well, not you guys, him. How does he know who I voted for? And then my mother-in-law at the time was like, oh, let's not talk about this. I was like, no, it's totally okay. How do you know who I voted for? Maybe I'm a McCain guy. I don't know.
I don't know you.
Well, first of all, at that time, my wife was a hardcore Republican and voted for John McCain. So how do you know she didn't marry me because our political leanings are the same? I'm just saying. Because I never one time told anybody my political leanings. In fact, I just was starting to learn who I was at that time. So I was like, this is interesting. Tell me about me.
Because you know me.
I just met him.
Because you know me.
I know.
No, I'm saying because you know me.
I'm just saying I know the turkey on the table better than I know him.
Watch out. Watch out. See, that's what I'm saying. I will say, I'm going to say it was a stereotyping. I'm not going to say it was racist, but I do think it was weird that he looked at you.
I'm just saying.
Before he said it. But also, I'm not dumb, right? I grew up in South Carolina. So I understand body language for sure when it comes to that. Yeah, that's strange. That's one thing I can say. I ain't never had no experience like that with my wife's family at all.
Yeah,
never.
Yeah,
and so
I mean, just to set the record straight, it wasn't her family; it was their neighbor who did that. Again, the mother-in-law tried to shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, and the father-in-law did not engage at all. But it got uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, right? And like I was willing to deal with it just because me. Like I'm not gonna just roll over, but I'm also not there for war. Like I'm there for it's my family. But I just wanted him. What I wanted for him to do is I wanted him to go ahead and say it with your chest. Because there's a reason why you think automatically. I find that not as a black person, not as a black American. I find that incredibly disrespectful as an American that you would assume who I voted for based on my skin color. Because there was no other there was no other assumption to be made. I didn't say anything that aligned with Barack Obama's policies. In fact, I think I said the weather was nice and the food was good. Oh, and where's Haley? Because she's crawling around. I think those are maybe the three things I said.
So where'd you get the from? I feel you.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not gonna call it racist. I'm just saying somebody make it make sense. That's all I wanted.
It's that was just a stereotype, right? Which is a form of racism, to an extent, I guess. But whatever, you handled it like a G. I would have just been like, you ain't offending me. I would just told him, you ain't offend me and kept eating.
I wasn't offended. I felt sorry for him.
You got it. I would say, you got it. And everybody would just bust out laughing. And I just would have kept on eating. And that's how I feel about anything. First of all, it ain't a personal attack on me. Your feelings. That's how I'm always feel. Now, unless you bring my family into it, or you literally are saying, Trevay Hatton, you are an idiot. Why would you vote for this person? Well, then that's a different conversation. Right. You ain't offending me. I don't get offended by you saying something about somebody else that I do not have no relation with. Why would that offend me?
Yeah. In fact, I would have, what's funny is I would have been more comfortable with the other assumption, which has also happened, because like I said, at that time, my wife was like, a few years out of college. And she was a hardcore. If you knew my ex-wife, you knew she was a Republican. She was that person. You know what I mean? She would go to these like meetings and stuff and whatever. So I've had people assume right away, like, oh, you must also be Republican or whatever. And and I would have to slow them down and go, hey, I didn't really tell you how I voted. I'm not against everything that comes out of one side or the other. I kind of pick and choose my battles or whatever. So. And that's where I fall on it or whatever. But I would have been more comfortable with that because that is a safe assumption to some degree if you know my wife, which he knew my wife. But that's not what he assumed.
That's a funny story. That's a pretty good story right there. That's pretty good. I would like to, have met your ex-wife back then. Honestly. Back then, like I would like to have met her like yeah, you know what I mean? But whatever. Yeah. Boy, you sure know how to pickle, boy.
That wasn't her fault. That wasn't her fault.
Boy.
That's probably the most uncomfortable family gathering story I ever have in my life, to be honest.
I don't have none. If it was made uncomfortable because of something I did, I'm always the one saying crazy stuff, so. Yeah, I'm always the one that's...
Actually, no, I actually got one worse, but I'm not going to tell that one. I got to protect the guilty. That's That was a deep one, but
Nah, we're gonna get it, y'all. We're gonna say something. We're gonna tell y'all some crazy more stories. You know, I got a ton of crazy stories. I think growing up in the South, it was so severe that question didn't bother me. Like that question you just got asked, you know, you deciding whether it was racist or not. Like I just feel like where I'm from, you just kind of know. Like he is trying to offend you. I don't even think they would have said. They don't even preface it with "I'm not trying to offend you where I'm from." They just state their case.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's like what I'm saying is I know where you at with it, and it felt like more of an attack to me that he said I'm not trying to.
You know why? You know why?
To me,
because I was inconsequential. To be honest with you, so I was like, you done came all the way across the table. We weren't even sitting on the same side of the table, Trevay.
That's
so
too
I was
much.
like,
that's too much.
I'm
that's
like, okay, so I get it. So the adults at the table is me, my ex-wife, who was my wife at the time, her mom, her stepdad, and this gentleman, and like I think one other adult. So 6 adults and like, I don't know, 4 or 5 children, right? So I'm like, okay, so you really walked your ass all the way over here to come finger point me. I don't know.
Just say it.
Just say it.
That's whack. That's what I say. That's why I have a little more respect for how it was done, you know, or around my way park or whatever. That's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is he wanted to see where you was at. He wanted to see if he could get a response out of you once again, if he could get an emotional reaction. That's what I was talking about at the bar when you said the joint about Buddy with the bracelet.
Here. I'm always going to be neutral. That's what always wrong with me. I'm always be neutral.
Yeah. Same.
No, I'm always be neutral.
You about to catch me.
You're not going to catch you. I'm not wired like that anymore. There
you go.
You know what I mean? Catch me in my 20s, that might have been a different subject. But
you would have let them know a little bit about it.
You know what? And I'm not even saying that in a prideful way. Honestly, I'm saying that in a not mature version of Ra might have responded a little differently. And would have been maybe a little bit more confrontational, you know. And I'm proud of myself because at that time I would have been. Let me see, I'd have been like 20. Wait, when Obama's 2008, 29, 30.
Oh no, you definitely knew who you were. You definitely knew who you was, like as an individual. You know what I mean? Like you got it. 20, late 20. I'm in my late 20s, and this kind of it's hitting right now. So. You definitely kind of understand your life.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to be a dad. I was trying to be a husband. Parent. I was trying to have a good meal. I was actually, honestly, I was in awe because my in-laws had such an awesome house and, they do really well. So I was like, man, I'm having Thanksgiving dinner on the lake, with all this customized food and my child is happy. Nate wasn't born yet. My child is happy. My wife is smiling. I'm having good drinks. I'm having good food. All these things. I was winning. So like I didn't need all that.
Yeah.
But I think, truth be told, I think what I learned from that scenario, I could either follow myself with that situation and chose to be ignorant and let that really, touch my soul in a way. And I could have stormed out of there and messed up Thanksgiving. I could have approached them and messed up Thanksgiving.
But that's what they want, though. But that's I
don't care what they want.
I'm not saying
I don't care what they want. What would have happened to me, though? What would have happened to me and my family?
Yep. It would have beat you down.
My wife would have been upset. Yep. It'd have been a whole family thing.
Now we're talking.
Like, is that worth letting an idiot just kind of fly by you?
But you're letting that idiot fly by you. But when does that idiot, and I'm just talking in general, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's not, your ex-wife, neighbor might be listening to this. Hey man, you ain't an idiot. You just stereotypical. Anyway, when does that idiot get checked?
Not on my watch. That ain't for me. That ain't for me no more.
You
because he didn't do enough to offend me. You want to offend me to do something to my family, right? So you could, whatever you want to say, that's not gonna be my output anymore. You could have caught me 20 years ago with that, right? But like, you're going to survive. It's going to be fine. But guess what? There is someone who's not going to be okay with that. And that person might not be completely in the right. And that person won't care if they're in the right. And that's going to be your reckoning. But you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay today.
Yeah, talk that talk.
You know what I mean?
I always say, I'm super passive anyway. I have a fine belief that, they're going to get that come around. It ain't got to necessarily. I was reading something the other day. I told you I listen to a lot of Eric Thomas, Eric Thomas motivation. He's a motivational speaker. And he said something that been sticking with me for like 2 years now. And he said, whenever you in a situation, I need you to stop and think, because a lot of people don't think. And you need to be able to say, this moment, it's not the moment. Like, this moment is not the moment that defines your future. This moment is not the moment that defines who you are. This moment is not the moment where you break down. You just got to stop, think, have a proper response. Because sometimes, as humans, we just jump the gun and just react. That's why I say I love you, because you always say I'm neutral. You know what I mean? And being able to be neutral also helps you have rational thoughts.
Yeah.
And a rational response. You know what I mean? And a rational, because I ain't out to prove no point to nobody.
So you at dinner with your wife and somebody say something dumb like that to you. Is it their moment or is it your moment? You got to decide.
It's their moment. It's their moment. It's their moment. But I'm not going to make it their moment. I'm just going to make it weird. I'm just going to say, oh yeah, you got it. Like, I'm not about to Trevay response, if I'm being completely honest with you, and you know me, Trevay response would be, he would say, I don't want to offend you. First I would say, oh, you didn't offend me at all. And after he would have been like, yeah, but that's just my thoughts on the yada, yada, yada. I would say, okay, well, I'm glad you feel that way about it. I wouldn't even ask no questions.
No follow-up, no nothing.
But you know me. I literally would say, well, that's cool. I'm glad that's how you feel about that. And if you would have said, how do you feel about it? I would have said, I have no opinion on it. And that would have been, and I just would have kept eating my turkey.
Yeah.
And then I would have went, can I get everybody around the shop?
Right.
Because he obviously didn't drink.
He was sipping on scotch and water. I still remember what the man was drinking.
He obviously needed another drink. He obviously needed one, because his liquid courage is through the roof.
Oh, man.
But that's it. I mean,
I don't know. I just always think like, I'm not gonna let people ruin my day. Like, it's, especially that day specifically, because Jen and it was one of those times we was on a high. We were having such a beautiful day. I'm trying.
Hold on. What's her name?
Huh?
What was her name?
Who? Jen?
Yeah.
Oh, my ex. I'm gonna leave that one off to get a podcast right now. I'm gonna leave that one off the podcast.
All right. You
no,
said
I was referring to the time with the guy with the Pro Tools. The Pro Trump bracelet.
Man, you gotta be prefacing. You can't be jumping from scenario to scenario without saying nothing. Dog.
No.
Because I'm like, hold on, this man ex and his
no.
I'm saying
hey, Jen is a common name, by the way. You know how many Jens I crossed before I got to that Jen? Actually, the funny thing is, and this just kind of hit my brain not too long ago. I was talking to my mom. My first ever girlfriend, her name was Jennifer. My first ever. And I definitely planned for Jennifer, the current one I have now, to be my last girlfriend and my forever wife. So I guess I was always meant to be with a Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer must have really jumped out to you when you were a young man. Must really
ain't nothing happened, man. That was just young, nothing to do. You know what I mean? Nothing happened. Nothing happened with that one.
What can you say? I got nothing. I got nothing. I'll
You don't even know what to
this.
do with that one, huh?
I'll say this. Sunday, I bailed you out. I don't know if you remember.
This past Sunday?
Yeah.
What'd I do?
All I'm gonna say is white sugar, brown sugar. You don't remember? White sugar, brown sugar.
No.
It was right before y'all closed out.
Oh. Okay. See, what happened?
Oh, it was funny.
Okay.
It was funny.
Yeah, you might have to tell me.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, I'm good. I got nothing else for these folks, man. We already giving too much. Yeah. This is a to be continued episode because there's more to talk about on that right there. But I'm gonna let this one go. I'm gonna let this one go.
All right, we can do that.
Me and Ra, right, have been doing this podcast since February. Okay. To those who have been listening today, want to thank you. We thank you. We appreciate you. Thanks to you guys, whether you're listening or not. We're 15 episodes in. At this current moment right now. Now I know we got more episodes in the catalog.
Oh, that's true.
I'm saying we released 15 episodes.
Yeah.
And there was a point where we didn't know if we really even wanted to do this. And I'm here to tell you with full confidence, I don't see us stopping no time soon. I don't see us not doing this. This is a part of my day. This is a part of my week. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I know he feels the same way. So just, hey, if you're listening, you made it this far, you made it to the end of the podcast, tell a friend about it. All right. Somebody need to hear it. It's enjoyable. It's fun. We have a good time. It is cost free. It's a little bit of therapy in here for you, and it's a couple jokes. Spread the word. Spread the word. That's all I got.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Raising the Bar with Ra and Treve. If you like what you heard, do us a favor and share the podcast with a friend. Don't forget to like and subscribe to podcasts also. New episodes every Wednesday. You can leave us a comment on the episodes where you stream them on Instagram at rtb.podcast or send us a direct email at rtb.podcast25@gmail.com. That's rtb.podcast, the number 25 @gmail.com. See you next week.